Welcome back to the show, guys. Do not worry. Today we have more updates on the Epstein drama. I have more cow updates, if that's what you're really here for. We also need to talk about why Chip and Joanna Gaines are being canceled by the Christian conservative right, and why Nara Smith is the breath of fresh air that the world desperately needs. Okay, so before we get into all of these other stories, I will give you a cow update because I saw so many comments of all these people being like, I'm so worried about the baby cow. I hope the baby cow does not die. The baby cow has not died. He's a bull calf. Mr. Pee Pants, Captain Underpants. We have not really settled on a permanent name thus far. We're kind of using those interchangeably. My mom feels so bad that we're calling him Pee Pants, so she's calling him Captain, for Captain Underpants. But he is doing great. We had a very dramatic final move of him and his mom into their new permanent pasture, which happened after the story I told you guys on what day was that? Monday that I told you guys all of that. So after we had filmed, I took off all my makeup and took off all my clothes, and we headed right back outside because they were basically in the round pen because that was the only area that we could contain them in just over the morning, because I was like, I have to go film, we have to do all of these things. Let's just contain them, keep them there for now, and we will move them later. But that required, I think I mentioned this, like moving the pigs around, doing a bunch of stuff. So we finally got all the other animals moved. We literally just picked up Mr. Pee Pants and put him in his new pasture. But then we had to move Miss Teen Mama, who does not want to go anywhere. She also did not want to be a mom. She was like, the only thing I want to do is go back to my normal pasture and be with my mom. And we were like, no, you have responsibilities. You need to woman up and deal with this. And I swear to God, guys, it took an hour and a half. So she's not really halter trained. She's very tame, and you can come up and you can pet her and you can be around her, but she really does not like a halter. So Alex literally chased her around this round pen, and he was like, Brent, get out of the way. Again, he's like, don't get run over by a cow. You're 6 weeks after giving birth. Please do not get run over by a cow. So he was able to get the rope around her, and then once she was locked in, then I was able to get a harness on her. But of course, guys, because she is so tiny and she should not have been having a baby and this was an accident, the harnesses that we have for our full-grown cows did not fit her. But she's also too big for the tiny baby sheep calf harness that we can put on them. So we literally had to cinch this thing. She had a little knot on the top of her head. We literally could not even hook the harness. So I tied a top knot on the top of her head, which I ended up using pulling her. We finally got the rope, the lead rope, hooked on her. She would not move. I mean, it was literally heels dug into the ground. She would not move. Meanwhile, it is so humid. It's sort of raining in and out. It's 95 degrees outside. My mom is standing there with a bucket of grain. I am not helping whatsoever. I'm just being you guys are doing great, because every time I get close, Alex is move, she's angry. And it ends up being that Alex has to literally, and he's just gotten back from the gym. He's gymmed, he's saunaed, he is tired, and he's immediately launched into doing this. We are literally pulling her. My mom is behind her, pulling her tail, because with cows, if you want to move them, you can grab their tail and kind of pull them in the right direction. Did not work. No interest. Literally yanking. Please, God, come. Finally, for some reason, I ran out to grab some extra feed because she was not interested. So I was okay, maybe we could get her a different kind of grain that's a special little treat. Maybe she'll want to move. And for some reason, when I ran out of the round pen, she was okay, I'm going. I'll follow Brett. So I thought, great, I'll just walk in front of her and she'll follow me because she loves me. I'm the best. I'm with her more than Alex and more than my mom, so maybe she just wants to be with me. No, I think she was just spooked. She had no interest in following me, but we finally got her out of the round pen. But we still had to cross our driveway, go down a hill, and get into this new pasture where her baby was waiting. And you could see the little baby at the fence being Mama, Mama. She did not care. She did not care where her baby was whatsoever. So finally, I'm I don't know what else we can do. Alex is exhausted. His hands are bleeding from literally pulling her on this rope. And so finally, I'm maybe I could literally drive her in with our mule, which is our side-by-side off-roading vehicle that we use around the farm. And I felt bad in the moment, but this is the only thing that works. I literally got behind her, because often you can move cows and animals with vehicles, but I've never done that with just one animal. And I literally, guys, you're gonna hate me. Maybe you won't. But I literally got up behind her butt, driving the mule, and just slowly pushed her in. I just kept hitting her and tapping her, and this cow did not care. Did not care. Again, digging her heels in, she had her butt all the way up into the mule being do not push me. And I tried to keep going, inch by inch, step by step. Alex was still pulling her. My mom was making sure she wasn't going under a tire, and literally just tapped her all the way into this pasture, finally goes in there. And then she gets up close to her baby, and she finally lets him nurse, and she's oh, I guess maybe I do want to be here. Anyway, they are safe. They're in the right place. She is eating her dairy ration. He is attempting to nurse on her. We are also bottle feeding him twice a day. We're not doing too much so that he can try to latch. She's eating the right kind of hay as well, so we're going to try to get her milk up as much as possible. Anyway, that is the update. We have not had to chase anyone, knock on wood, in the last 24 hours, so that has been great. We have just been bottle feeding. It has been super cute. I feel like I'm getting lots of like baby experience with this tiny little animal. Anyway, that is the update. He has not died. He is doing great. He is frolicking. I think he's going to grow up and live a long, happy life. Maybe even go to Grand Canyon University, because if I was going to send my kids somewhere, if I was going to send my cow somewhere, it would be that. And Grand Canyon University is a private Christian university in the beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. GCU believes in equal opportunity and that the American dream starts with a purpose. And GCU equips you to find that purpose and equips you to serve others in ways that promote human flourishing and create a ripple effect of transformation in your communities for generations to come. And by honoring your career calling, you impact your family, your friends, and your community. And you can change the world for good by putting others before yourself to glorify God, even in your education. And whether your pursuit involves a bachelor's, a master's, or a doctoral degree, GCU's online, on-campus, and hybrid learning environments are designed to help you achieve your unique academic, personal, and professional goals. With over 340 academic programs as of September of 2024, GCU truly meets you where you are and provides a path to help you fulfill your dreams. At GCU, the pursuit to serve others and find your passion is truly yours, so let it flourish. Find your purpose today at Grand Canyon University. It is private, it's Christian, and it's affordable. Just visit gcu.edu today to learn more. All right, so now that you all have the cow update, you can put all of your fears at rest. We can move on to the other big issue that is plaguing all of our minds and our social media, and that obviously is the Epstein scandal, because that has not slowed down in the slightest. And I'm sure that that is unfortunate for the Trump administration, because I think they wanted this to go away as quickly as possible. But unfortunately, with every single thing they did or said or Trump posted, things just got worse. In fact, after Trump's Truth Social post, where I think he was like, yeah, this is going to shut them all up, this is going to make everything go away. Oh no. It just ramped up tenfold. In fact, the hashtag Trump Epstein cover-up has been trending for days, which is not a good look at all. And I mean, guys, like, this is completely understandable. Like, this is completely unsurprising because of how they handled this entire thing. This is what we've been talking about for the last week and a half at this point. It's like, this was so dumb. Like, this is not an issue that you can just brush under the rug, hide in the middle of a tragedy, and move on from. Like, once again, we are not letting it go. Now, interestingly, after over a week of all of this, it seems like maybe the Trump administration is finally hearing the base and they are wanting to do a little backtracking and redirection, although we still have no answers on what was in the files, if they actually exist, and why they handled things the way that they did, but this might be a move in the right direction. But before we get into that, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and of course, if you want to stay up to date on all of our latest episodes, make sure to ring that notification bell, and if you want to stay up to date on all things Brett Cooper and all of our live events and all the fun things that we're going to be doing, make sure to check out brettcooper.com. That is the hub for all of your information, and that is where you should go. So like I said, it seems like the Trump administration is hearing our frustrations. I don't know how they could not hear our frustrations, because again, this has been going on for a week and a half. I mean, I was at TPUSA Student Action Summit last weekend, and that was basically what everyone was talking about, and like the crowd was riled up. It was all over social media. You had 7,000 young people being like, we demand the list, we demand answers. Like, yeah, Trump is going to have to listen. In fact, Laura Trump, his daughter-in-law, went on Benny Johnson's show, and while she did double down on Trump's statement from his Truth Social post where he said that we have the Bidens and the Clintons and James Comey to blame for all of this, she did say that Trump is now as frustrated as all of us. Now, I don't know if he is frustrated because of the backlash or whether he is frustrated because of what is going on behind the scenes with the files, who knows, but she said he is frustrated. But she did say that they are changing course and that there actually is more to be released. Just take a listen.
I don't know that this was top of mind for him, but he hears all the noise and he hears all of the consternation out there. And I think he's going to want to set things right as well. So I believe that there will probably be more coming on this. And I believe anything that they are able to release that doesn't, damage any witnesses or anyone underage or anything like that, I believe they'll probably try to get out sooner rather than later because they hear it and they understand it.
And again, like, I hope what Laura is saying is true because all of that sounds positive. It seems like it's moving in the right direction. Again, I think it's great when our voices are heard on issues, but still, I don't even know if just releasing all the information will make this right, because there still was so much flip-flopping leading up to this. Because, like, last week, we were told there was nothing. There was no client list. There was nothing to release. That is why they were just closing the case. But then, after the backlash started, then they said, well, actually, there was something, but it was created by the Democrats. It was muddied by the Democrats, so that's why we didn't release it. But there is something there. And now, after we've kind of become the thorn that will not get out of their sides, now they're saying, okay, maybe there is something there. Maybe we'll try to release more. Like, it's just so complicated, and I have no idea how they will be able to fix this. Okay, hi guys. I'm popping in because false alarm. I don't think Trump is changing course literally at all. Yesterday, it was all over social media. Laura Trump did an interview. Charlie Kirk did an entire episode about how Trump was listening to us, and it should be so exciting and empowering for his base because he's heard us and he's changing course. Well, no, because immediately after I filmed that part of the episode, Trump was on camera saying the same thing again. Why do people still care? This is just something that the Democrats have done. This is all just a sham. However, then at the end of that interview, he also said, I'm telling Pam to release anything that's credible, which is also kind of hypocritical because I thought we were told that there was nothing to release at all. Like, we couldn't see anything. And then he goes, he has some event, he's getting off the plane, he does yet another interview, and he just lays it on even thicker. He's like, why are you people focusing on this? He attacks his supporters directly, which is even worse. And then, guys, this morning, I wake up, we're now the next day, right before you guys are gonna see this, and he has now made this post on Truth Social where he claims that anyone who is still interested in Epstein is a past supporter of his who has been brainwashed by the Democrats for the last 8 years. Like, I understand that Trump is frustrated because behind the scenes, he is doing a lot of great things. He has had major wins this week, this month. I'm sure he is frustrated that we are all focusing on this arguably very big thing. He wants this all to be brushed under the rug because it was a huge screw up, I think, on him and his team. But Trump, we're not going to forget, like, these are people who voted for you, who put their trust in you. We are not never Trumpers. Like, we are here, we want answers, we want what was promised to us. That does not mean that you are not a good president. That does not mean that you are not doing other good things this week, but it is so ridiculous and demeaning for him to be speaking to us this way. Okay, also, on top of that, do you remember how we were told that the footage that we were all given of Epstein's cell to prove that he actually did commit suicide, we were told that that was all totally raw, and then actually Wired did report on it, and they looked at the metadata, and it had been edited together, and there was a minute missing? Well, now they looked even deeper, and it turns out the 2 minutes and 53 seconds of that footage are missing. Just completely gone. We have no answers. Also on top of that, a report came out that yesterday Trump made calls to some of his biggest supporters and biggest influencers in this movement to have them stop talking about this and just move everything along because it was getting too distracting. Like, dude, just like stop. It just keeps getting worse. You just keep digging yourself deeper and deeper into this hole. Like, if there is something going on behind the scenes, I get it. Maybe you can't tell us. But the way to handle that is not to yell at reporters, yell at your supporters, angrily post on Truth Social. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, take a chill pill. Step away. Step away from Truth Social. Stop speaking. Handle whatever needs to be handled behind the scenes, because I'm sure there's a lot going on. But stop attacking the people that voted for you, that support you, and that simply want answers. And guys, to make things even more complicated, all of these updates from Charlie and Laura and the Trump stuff, they all came within a day of Ghislaine Maxwell, aka Epstein's accomplice and off and on again girlfriend, leaking to the Daily Mail that she, quote, would welcome the chance to sit in front of Congress and tell her story, which would allegedly include the high-profile clients that they allegedly worked with. And this is coming from the woman that is sitting behind bars in a 20-year sentence because of what she and Epstein allegedly did. Now, the Daily Mail wrote and said, quote, despite the rumors, Ghislaine was never offered any type of plea deal. She would be more than happy to sit before Congress and tell her story. No one from the government, this is interesting, no one from the government has ever asked her to share what she knows, which seems really interesting because she's kind of the only one since Epstein is dead, allegedly. There's now a conspiracy about that, but since she is the one who can actually talk about it, it's crazy that she has not even been asked. Maybe they don't want her to talk. Anyway, she remains the only person to be jailed in connection to Epstein, and she would welcome the chance to tell the American public the truth. The source also said that congressional hearings have been held into everything from JFK's assassination to 9/11. The Epstein files rank up there with those cases. Ghislaine would be willing to speak before Congress and tell her story. And I think that that is a really interesting and important point about the other hearings that have been held, because our government works for us. They should be doing hearings on the things that we are interested in. We have been interested in 9/11. Obviously, that impacted all of us directly. We have been interested in JFK's assassination. We are also incredibly interested in Epstein and who might allegedly be on that alleged, maybe existing, maybe not existing client list. Like, that is relevant to all of us. And we know that Congress spends so much time doing ridiculous BS. Like, hey, maybe do something that we are actually interested in because, again, you work for us. And also, why wouldn't they have a hearing over what happened, especially when victim after victim has come out and spoken about the powerful people involved in this whole crime, including former presidents, including members of the royal family? Like, that seems like such a given, unless you are trying to hide something, which obviously is the big question here. Now, in keeping with all of this, I think we also have to ask, was Ghislaine intentionally staying silent for all of these years in hopes that they would hear her appeal in exchange for her silence because they don't want this list to get out, they don't want this information to get out? So she's like been sitting on this bomb waiting to drop it, and this week seemed like the best time to leak it to the Daily Mail. I have no idea. Maybe this was her last-ditch effort, almost threatening them with what she knows, because if the Supreme Court were to reject her appeal, then it's basically all over for her. And she knew that that could happen, and that was already scheduled to be decided this week. She submitted a plea deal to overturn her conviction to the Supreme Court in April, claiming that she was covered by a non-prosecution agreement made in Florida in 2007 between Epstein and the US government. So what this means is that in 2007, Epstein made a deal with the government that allegedly covered any accomplices that he might have worked with. And so when she was imprisoned a few years ago, she basically was arguing, like, I thought I was covered. Like, I thought that I was covered in this plea deal, so why am I even in prison to begin with? And a lot of people are asking, like, if there was no client list, then why does she have the 20-year sentence that she even has? That's a whole other conversation, but that is why she's been trying to get her case appealed. Now, in addition to what was leaked to the Daily Mail, her allegedly wanting to drop this bomb, threatening them, I have no idea what it was, she was also trying to appeal to the Trump administration to delay the Supreme Court decision. She was trying to push it off, say, could you help me? Could you give me a plea bargain? Could we do anything together? Could you just push off this decision a little bit longer? Because if the Supreme Court says no, then that's it for me. But unfortunately for her, none of that came to fruition. The Trump administration said no, the Supreme Court can do what the Supreme Court wants to do. Now, in covering this, the Times wrote, the decision by the Trump administration, because it's the DOJ that has to decide this, on Monday, effectively ends the disgraced British socialite's attempts to overturn her 20-year federal prison sentence for recruiting girls and young women for Jeffrey Epstein to abuse. Maxwell team is understood to have appealed to members of the Trump administration for a delay in the decision, which does not appear to have been granted. The department's letter asking the Supreme Court to deny the appeal was signed by Dean John Saar, Solicitor General. And of course, that also did not clear anything up for the American people, because it's like, okay, if she is wanting to speak, then does that mean there is a list or there's not a list? Is she sitting on information? Is it all a bluff? Like, we genuinely do not have any more answers. This just made it all even more confusing. And based on where we're sitting right now with the information that we have, we might never know. Things might never change. But what I do know is that if Ghislaine needs any more legal help, she should contact my friends over at Morgan & Morgan. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm with over 1,000 attorneys and more than 100 offices nationwide. And they have recovered over $25 billion for more than 500,000 clients. And their results truly speak for themselves. One client in Florida received $20 million when the last offer was $0. In Pennsylvania, another client was awarded $26 million, which was 40 times the insurer's offer. So when you are hiring Morgan & Morgan, it is truly like hiring a legal army that has your back. If you're injured because of somebody else's negligence, you deserve to be paid, and they can help make that happen. So if you're ever injured in an accident, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win for you. You can start your claim now by going to forthepeople.com/Brett. Again, that is forthepeople.com/Brett. It can also be found in the description box below. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. And while Morgan & Morgan can help you fight back after you've been injured, the wellness company can help get your health back on track. And if you've ever wondered why your brain feels foggy even when you're eating clean and exercising right, it might not be burnout, it could be parasites. And the wellness company is here to help. Groundbreaking research from Dr. Alan McDonald revealed a direct link between chronic parasitic infections and neurological diseases like multiple sclerosis. Parasites can cause inflammation, nerve damage, and long-term cognitive decline, which is all the more reason to do a full body cleanse at least once a year. And you can do that with the wellness company. And their solution for you is ivermectin plus mebendazole, the gold standard parasite solution now combined into one cleanse combo. This is designed to eliminate harmful invaders and support your immune system naturally. This is medical grade. I promise it's not some trendy herbal gimmick. So if you're ready to get started, just fill out a quick intake form and get a 3-month supply shipped directly to your door. Guys, Maha is officially here, and the wellness company is making hard to get medications digitally accessible so that you can live your best healthy life. life. Just head to twc.health/Cooper and use code Cooper for $90 off plus free shipping on all of your orders. So start cleansing your body today. Now, speaking of wellness, the one thing that I can say with complete certainty is that none of this drama, this scandal, is healthy for our country. Like, we are outraged, we are confused, we are being kept up at night. Like, the only thing that is keeping me up at night more than Epstein is the damn Charlize Theron interview on Call Her Daddy, because that interview basically explains everything that is wrong and hypocritical about modern womanhood in America and the way that we perceive and attack women for their choices. Now, before we get into Charlize Theron, we need to set the stage with a different interview. Now, I don't know if you guys follow Nara Smith, but I am a huge fan of hers. She is a model, she loves to cook, she's an influencer, and basically her entire social media is just her cooking in the most glamorous and dramatic ways possible. Like, she wears the most outlandish outfits, like she'll have feathers all over her, she has her makeup fully done, but she actually is a good cook and she cooks everything from scratch. And she also is 23 years old and is pregnant with her and her husband's fourth child, which obviously is very controversial in 2025. Now, Nara went on Jay Shetty's podcast, and I just have to say, it was such a breath of fresh air, and we need to talk about that before we can get into Charlize. And in this interview, they talked about gender roles, they talked about marriage and kids, the societal pressures that are put on women from both sides of the political aisle. It's basically like everything I talked about in my YWLS speech, if you watch that. But the crux of this interview with Jay Shetty was about her decision to get married young and have these 4 kids by the age of 23, which is something, guys, that she gets flack for online relentlessly. So just take a listen to her talking about all of this backlash.
When people hear that I have 3 kids at 23 and I had my first a few weeks after I turned 19, they always freak out and they tell me, why aren't you in the clubs? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? And I feel like they're projecting how they want their life to be onto me. That is a choice I made for my life. You learn so much from having children, and whether that's patience or understanding or whatever it is, I think I'm at the perfect time in my life to receive all of those lessons from my kids and pour back into them.
Like, guys, you cannot watch that clip and argue that this woman should be in the clubs. Like, you look at her, you hear her voice, her very calming presence. Like, she loves being a mother. Nobody can refute that. And people online hate her for it. And it's all so ridiculous because, like she said in that clip, this is not something that Nara pushes on people. She literally just posts pictures of her kids sometimes. I don't even think she shows their faces. But mainly, she's just cooking. It's just her going to fashion shows and cooking and doing what she wants to do. She is living her life. She is making choices that align with her values. She literally does not care if you want to do the same thing or you follow her path. And yet people get so freaking angry. And I wanted to talk about Nara and show you guys that clip because it was just such a huge contrast from the interview that Charlize Theron did on Call Her Daddy just a couple of weeks ago. If you don't know who Charlize Theron is, she is an actress. I believe she's like in her 50s. And in this interview, she's literally bragging about sleeping with a man who is 23 years younger than her. Like, that at her age is what she's prioritizing. So contrast that with Nara. Just watch this clip.
I've probably had 3 one-night stands in my entire life.
Okay.
But I did just recently a 26-year-old, and it was really amazing. Yes. And I've never done that. And I was like, oh, this is great. Okay.
Let me just say that 26-year-old is the luckiest man walking on this planet. He's walking different today.
And while that clip alone literally almost made me fall out of my chair, like, this interview was just like chock full of stuff like that. She was talking about how she refuses to get married because she doesn't want to have to answer to a man. She doesn't want to have to like run things by a man. And that's why she is like committed to staying single. She doesn't even like men unless she's sleeping with a 26-year-old. Like, it was just full of all of that. And while both of these women were simply talking about their lifestyle choices and what they have decided for themselves, even though I would argue that one is better than the other, like, Nara has been ripped into time and time again for her lifestyle, for even choosing to get pregnant again for the 4th time. And Charlize in that interview was hailed as an icon, as this amazing, empowering feminist, like as somebody that all of these young women should look up to. I mean, just listen to the difference in the comments that have been left about these women. Like, these are some of the ones that have been written about Nara recently, especially after she made her pregnancy announcement. But like, one person said, he really doesn't want her to work, huh? I guess the jealousy is just keeping her pregnant, which is just ridiculous because she literally works. She's a very successful model. model like her husband is. Somebody else said, breeding kink much? Another person said, OMG, please take a break. Somebody else said, fully supported you, but this is actually becoming sad. Too many little ones so close. And then this last one that is written with possibly the worst grammar and the worst sentence structure on the face of the planet. This person said, may a man that won't ever not let me be pregnant not find me ever. You're making all of these accusations about her choice to be a mother, her joyful choice, something that she is so excited about, something that she and her husband have spoken about publicly and at length, the fact that they love being parents, that they wanted to get married young, that they wanted to have kids young, that she loves them, that she loves being a mother. And this is the response online. Meanwhile, this is what all the comments sounded like under every clip of Charlize. This is epic. I love her energy so effing much. Dear Jesus, please let me be Charlize or the 26-year-old. Either works. Somebody else said, now that is what I'm talking about. I mean, the contrast between the public response is shocking. And while yes, both of these women are adults, they are free to live however they want to live and sleep with whoever they want to sleep with and have however many kids they want to have. But like seriously, between those two women, which alternative seems the most stable and healthy to you? Like, in just looking at the response to both of them, like, we live in such a sick society if we glorify an older single woman who does not actually like men unless she's using them for sex and validation, and yet rips into a happy, successful young mom who enjoys cooking for her family and having babies and posting about it online. Like, make it make sense. Like, how is that what we have decided is the net positive, is something that is empowering that we should aspire to, and that Nara's life is something that we need to vilify or protect her from? Like, she is not an infant, she's not a child, she's a 23-year-old woman making decisions for her life as an adult. And to all of the feminists out there who might be watching this or seeing a clip, like, just let Nara have her babies and make her cooking videos in peace. Like, I thought that feminism was supposed to be about freedom and about choice, but obviously I guess that it is not. Now, while we are on the topic of freedom, we can move on to something else. Whether we like it or not, guys, Chip and Joanna Gaines can have whoever they want on their show. And I hate to say it, but that should not anger us, nor should it surprise us in the slightest. So if you do not know what I am talking about, Chip and Joanna Gaines, the darlings of the HGTV network, now they have their own TV network. She basically like created farmhouse decor. They're like a husband and wife duo. They did like the big home makeovers, all of that stuff. If you go into Target and you're looking for a candlestick, more often than not, you will see a Magnolia Home like sticker. That is their brand. They are hugely, hugely popular. They are based out of Waco, Texas. And the really important thing here is that they have always been open about their Christian faith. Now, the reason why they are in a controversial storm right now is because they are doing a new show with HBO. It is HBO and their network, the Magnolia Network. And this new show, which was literally just announced, the trailer just came out, is featuring a gay couple. And so this obviously caused a firestorm online with Chip and Joanna's conservative and Christian fans. Now, a lot of people think that this is their response to public backlash because years ago they were told that their HGTV shows were too white and too straight, so maybe now they're course correcting. Who knows? They're overcorrecting, whatever you want to call it. But I personally am not surprised that they are featuring a gay couple because it is 2025 and basically everything in our society is gay except JoJo Siwa. She's the only thing that's not gay right now. But again, backlash ensued. Everybody was angry. Everybody was saying you are, going against your Christian faith. You should not be glorifying this. And finally, yesterday, they responded after days of this. It was like basically my entire X feed was like Epstein outrage, Chip and Joanna Gaines outrage. And let me just say, neither Trump nor Chip Gaines, they did not have the best response to any of that backlash. Anyway, this is what Chip Gaines said. He said, talk, ask questions, listen, maybe even learn. Too much to ask of modern American Christian culture. Judge first, understand later never. That's what he's saying about his critics. It's a sad Sunday when non-believers have never been confronted with hate or vitriol until they are introduced to a modern American Christian heartbreak. This, of course, did not make any of their Christian conservative fan base happy because Chip in this tweet is basically saying, get over it. I'm a modern Christian. I am better than you. I don't judge like all of you bigots. You're actually not really believers because you're so hateful and you don't want a gay couple in our Christian TV show, which in all honesty, reading that tweet, it was a pretty bitter and angry tweet. That's probably not what I would have recommended him to respond with. I might not have just responded at all if I was him, who knows? But guys, like, based on the outrage, like, why are we shocked about this? Like, why is this even something that is trending? Why is this a scandal? Like, I have never in my life assumed that Chip and Joanna Gaines were some kind of beacon of biblical or ideological consistency. Like, they are home renovators. They make little doilies and things for Target. They have also kind of always been squishy, politically and culturally. They have been open about that. They have never taken a hardline stance on literally anything in their entire career. They even said at one point that the social justice warrior claims that they discriminate against people, that they were too white, whatever it is, that literally keeps them up at night. Like, that is about as squishy as it comes. Like, seriously, these are not people who are authorities on politics or faith. Maybe they're authorities on shiplap, since they seem to put that in every single one of their home renovations, but not this. So why are we looking at them and expecting them to be these kinds of experts? And it genuinely is kind of unfortunate for Chip and Joanna, because due to the way that they have ridden the fence line for years at this point and kind of been like squishy and dipped into every camp and tried to make everybody happy, they are now in a situation where they are sometimes too Christian and too conservative for the left, but also now they're not conservative enough and not Christian enough for the right. Like, years ago, like I said, people were upset that their shows were too white and too straight, and then people on the right were upset because they did not pull their Magnolia Home products out of Target over all of the trans stuff. People were upset that they took a photo and celebrated Brittany Griner a couple of years ago. People are upset on the left that they even talk about being Christian at all. Like, they genuinely, at this point, they can't win, which is probably why they ride the fence line, because they know that they're never going to make everybody happy. And my thought, after watching all of this flip-flopping and squishiness for years, is that maybe, just maybe, they don't really want to be on either side. Maybe they don't want to be involved in a whole political discussion. Like, they have made it very clear that they really do not want to take a hard line on anything. Like, Chip's tweet the other day was the most clear political statement I think that they have ever made. So maybe now they're picking a side. So I genuinely don't understand why people online are asking, like, this is some huge betrayal that we all need to be outraged about. Like, again, I'm not surprised by this at all. Like, maybe they genuinely just want to be able to flip their houses and sell their semi-outdated farmhouse chic decor and be squishy on all of these topics and just move along, which they kind of have hinted at in interviews. Like, this is one from a couple of years ago. Chip and Joanna Gaines aren't right or left-wing or moderate. They're just human beings looking out for the betterment of other human beings. They do not want to be involved. They do not want to be a part of this at all. And to be honest, guys, that really doesn't faze me. Like, I do not need to hear about their politics. I don't really want to, nor do I really care. Like, I just want to be able to enjoy their content as I fall asleep, turn it on when I'm in a hotel, see what house they're flipping, browse the candlesticks and the doilies at Target, and move on. And so maybe the lesson here, which I think is always a good one, is that we should not look to HGTV reality stars for moral value or consistency, especially when they have never given us that to begin with. It's not like they came out swinging and said, we are Christian conservatives, we are against X, Y, and Z, we are standing strong, and now they're betraying us. Like, they have been squishy from the beginning. So let's just let Joanna Gaines run her farmhouse chic empire in peace. Watch her shows, don't watch her shows. I really don't care at this point. Let's all just move on. Everybody just needs to stop talking unless you are Trump or Ghislaine Maxwell finally telling us the truth about the Epstein files, because I think that is what all of us still care about.